All right, coming up in July, we have Adventure Drives Italy. There's a couple of spots left. It's limited to 30 cars, so if you want a piece of this, now's the time. There's a link below in the description. It's going to start and end in Rome. You can either rent a car or you can ship your own car over there if you'd prefer to do that. Highlights include all the attractions in Rome, obviously. Then you have the Lamborghini factory, the Ferrari factory, Tuscany. You got Pagani over there. We're going to Venice. We're going all the way over to Stelvio Pass. We're driving the Dolomites, Lake Como, and coming down through Cinque Terre. It's going to be a great trip. If you want to check it out, click the link in the description for adventuredrives.com and sign up today. What's going on, everybody? Rob Ferretti here, and boom, I bought a Lamborghini. Now, this is a special Lamborghini because it has a story, and it's going to be a perfect rental car. Now, I bought a Lamborghini Gallardo as a rental car previously because there's a sweet spot at like $1,000 or $1,200 a day that I don't have enough cars for, especially in convertible. I've got the R8, I've got the Z06, I've got the Flying Spur, and I've got the Aston Martin, all coming in at $995 a day. I didn't have anything between that and then the Huracan and the Urus and then the 488. So this is a perfect thing to be in the middle there. And this is an LP550-2. It is a 2014, which is the last year that they made them, the 50th anniversary. This specific car has 6,500 miles on it. And the condition obviously speaks for itself on the interior. But some of those miles are special because you may remember, and it's not here right now, but not because it was stolen, but it's not here because it's at my shop. The 458 that they tried to steal from my driveway, this one has been stolen and recovered. So I was able to buy this. There's been a tear of people stealing cars from dealerships, and we're talking like gone in 60 seconds, like brick through the window. 4 cars stolen every time, because if you think about it, you got a getaway driver and then 4 people in the car. You go, you break in, you do your research, you steal 4 cars and you leave. This one was parked outside one of the exotic car dealers up in the area, not a wholesaler, but an actual legitimate dealership. And this was recovered, and they're like, hey, this was $160 some odd thousand. They said, look, this is sort of perfect for you as a rental car now because it's got a theft recovery on its title. And a theft recovery to me doesn't really mean much. And then I saw the car and I said, maybe it's not for me. You're right, the car is cool and the condition is good and the theft recovery doesn't bother me. But you start to see little things that I'm gonna have to deal with now as a result of the theft. Now this could have been theft related or not, but that's always frustrating to get that key cover fixed. But the main thing you're gonna notice here, and the main thing I had issue with, was the quote unquote rock chips. And I'm like, those aren't rock chips, right? Like I'm looking here and you can't tell me these guys took the car for whatever 30 miles and got all of these rock chips. I mean, even if you had a motorcycle shooting rocks at the car, like doing a burnout, like this is like under the paint here. But you start seeing stuff like this, and then the windshield, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, you see this? I don't think these are rock chips. I think they shot it with a BB gun. And I know what you're saying, right? You're like, why would anyone do that? Because if you're stealing a car, you're not worried about it. You're not going to have this thing in 24 hours or 48 hours. You're just going to do whatever. It's more of like a clout thing to be like, oh, watch me shoot this car. And if you shoot it with bullets, it's probably not worth as much. But there's no way to get all of these like marks on it, and you're talking like it's not a rock chip thing. I'm convinced that this car was shot with a BB gun, and it's gonna need, when I pull a clear bra off, at least a spot repair, if not an entire front respray and a new windshield. Now the windshield, you don't notice these when you're inside the car. So if it can go out until I get a new windshield in here, but this has got to be a little bit of body work and then repaired. The rest of the car is pretty good, other than there's a little thing right here, but this may not even be related. This may just be the guy got too close to something who owned it. But all around, the car is in great shape. especially the interior. The interior, on these cars, I'm always afraid of a rollback. With this one, I was not concerned because if you look at it, the interior speaks volumes. Now, there's a million ways that interiors can be reconditioned, but they don't look like this. This is a new Lamborghini interior, and the dealer that has this car or had this car doesn't deal with junk inventory. So you see the wear and tear on the steering wheel and everything like that. This is all, like, there's minimal wear all across the board. The buttons aren't worn. The radio here doesn't have all the traditional like scratches and wear. All the high touch point stuff is super clean, and it's just these couple little fix-its that I have to do to get this thing into the rotation. So obviously there's nothing wrong with the car. Everything works. I wasn't concerned about the mechanical nature of this car. And especially, like, even if somebody steals it, it's just like having a renter take a car, right? Like, it's not that they're doing anything stupid other than standing on a hood or shooting it with BB guns. But at the end of the day, it's just a person driving the car that may not know how to drive the car, but you can't really do anything to these cars. It's not like you can drive it so wrong that you break it. And that's why I wasn't really concerned about the theft. It's got 6,500 miles on it. I'll probably rent it for 2 years. It'll have 26 or 30,000 miles. I'll sell it and we'll be in good shape. So it's Memorial Day weekend. Obviously, I got it today. It already goes out tomorrow. But it's a very appealing car at the price point at $1,250 a day. This thing is going to be my cheapest exotic convertible in my fleet, and I think it's going to do very well for me. So that's the story of this car, how I got it, and now it's going to be a theft recovery / rental car, and it'll do just fine. So here you go, LP550-2. I was driving it back to the dealership, and from the dealership, and I'm like, ooh, something may be wrong with the suspension. It feels too soft. Something didn't feel right. I checked the tire pressures. The first thing you're going to look into if the handling seems to be off. There were 2 tires at like 20 PSI. I'm like, that explains everything. And I filled them up back to where they belong. And now we're all good on this car. And it's driving the way it's supposed to. It's clean. It's looking the way it's supposed to. And it's going to make me a couple of bucks. Yet another exciting day of my life. Buying a Lamborghini because it was stolen. And like, sometimes cars just have my name on them. This is one of them. Rob Ferretti, thank you for watching. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. I will see you next time.